MVP PK recently won the ZOWIE eXTREMESLAND tournament in Shanghai. They beat NASR eSports from Dubai 2-0 in the grand final. One of the coolest feats that they achieved in this grand final is that they were able to beat NASR eSports 16-1 on Nuke. Since Nuke was the map pick of MVP, most people would have expected them to win it. But then the way they won it is what shocked everyone. Nuke is considered to be a CT-sided map by most experts and professionals, yet MVP were able to get a 14-1 lead on the terrorist side of Nuke. By watching the match, one would say that the only reason why MVP was able to dominate this well is because NASR were making a lot of mistakes, but there is much more to it than meets the eye. MVP was able to outsmart NASR and play mind games to such an extent that NASR started overthinking and actually ended up playing themselves. Let's see how they were able to do it. It's round number 3. MVP have already won the first 2 rounds. That means NASR eSports are gonna be on an eco in the third one. In this round, MVP tried to go from outside towards secret, but a lot of NASR eSports players are watching this direction and MVP find it difficult to break through their defense. They have already lost 2 of their players and they realize that a lot of NASR eSports players are watching the outer area. That's why they just decide to stop right there in their tracks and stay hidden behind this red box. Meanwhile, Solo manages to get a kill onto Greens in main hall. Now that NASR eSports cannot see any other terrorists in towards the outer area and the fact that Greens got picked off, they assume that MVP have fallen back from the outer area and are going to hit some different part of the map. As a result, even they stop watching outer and go back to their default positions. We have KitKat over here watching Cab, we have Nami at Heaven, and Breaker is watching Ramp. Little do they know that MVP are still towards the outer area and are ready to go towards secret. As soon as the coast is clear, they make their way in towards the B-bomb site and they face no resistance from NASR eSports. By doing practically nothing and just waiting, MVP were able to get a secure passage towards the lower bomb site and get a free bomb plant. They were able to outsmart NASR eSports by just waiting, or rather should I say, NASR eSports outsmarted themselves. MVP get the bomb plant for nothing, and now all they have to do is take their post plant positions and secure the round. A similar situation happens in round number 6, except this time NASR is not on eco, they have a full buy. Once again, MVP tried to go from outer to secret, and as usual NASR have set up a good defense over there. NASR are able to kill one of the MVP players as they go outside, but Glow somehow still manages to get inside secret. Unfortunately, the rest of his teammates cannot follow behind them because NASR have already called in the rotations towards outside and it's too risky for MVP to continue pushing, so they just hold outside. Greens has already rotated towards B because he saw Glow get inside secret, but then Glow has not exposed himself yet. He's just holding vents and making sure that none of the CTs rotate from here. At this point, the round has come to a standstill. Based on what NASR saw in the previous round, NASR learned one thing about MVP's playstyle. They know that MVP like holding outside. Last time NASR went back to their defaults and left outside unguarded, which let MVP get safely towards the B-bomb site without any resistance. This time they cannot afford to do the same thing. They have to make some adjustments and they need to make sure whether or not MVP are still holding outside. To gather some more information, Breaker pushes to check and he ends up walking straight into the crosshair of Mini Zeta. Even KitKat ends up getting caught off guard and now MVP have secured themselves a man advantage, which will make their lives much easier as they continue their assault towards the B site. Even though Greens is already here and he steps up massively in terms of individual performance, the thing that we need to learn about this round is that MVP were constantly aware of what information they were feeding to NASR, constantly aware of what NASR know about their playstyle and how they will make adjustments. Then, all that MVP need to do is predict those adjustments based on the lies and deceit they fed NASR in the previous round and use those adjustments against them. Ninth round, and once again we see a similar situation. MVP push the outer area. NASR are on a force buy and point all their guns in that direction and manage to put up quite some resistance. MVP lose 2 of their players and decide to stop right there, once again hiding behind the big red box. This is where the element of storytelling comes into play. In the first clip, we saw how NASR got punished for relinquishing outer control and going back to their default holds. In the second clip, we saw how they got punished for pushing as well. As a result, in this round they decide to neither push nor fall back, just hold the outside area and wait for MVP to make their move. But what they don't realize is that it gives MVP a lot of control over other parts of the map. It lets Solo go from ramp to hell and backstab Havoc, leaving poor Breaker in a 1 vs 3 situation which he has no chance of winning. MVP have the same approach for the same part of the map every time, yet every time the result is different. Every time they are able to fool NASR and play mind games with them, and they are only able to do so because of storytelling. They are aware of what they are letting NASR learn about their playstyle. They give NASR a false story, letting them believe that they know what MVP is about to do, only to realize that MVP were always one step ahead of them. If you enjoyed this video, do leave a like and comment. For more professional analysis and videos like these, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.